My 41M wife, 39F, is making our daughter food averse. How do I address this appropriately? My wife has, throughout our entire marriage, had a terrible habit of butting in, micromanaging, criticizing, and offering unsolicited feedback. I like to cook from scratch, whereas she prefers to buy prepackaged food at the store and heat it up. I will cut up chicken breasts, bread the strips, bake them, and serve them to our daughter. She will buy frozen chicken nuggets. I love cooking. It's very relaxing and centering for me. My wife sees it as a chore. I never insult anything my wife puts on the table and always thank her for putting dinner together. Conversely, I can count on one hand the number of compliments I've gotten on dinners that I spend hours putting together in 10 years of marriage on one hand. If I make something she doesn't like, she'll make over-exaggerated gagging noises. When she sees the look on my face, annoyed, hurt, or a combination, she'll tell me that she's joking and not to get upset. I have warned her that if our daughter picks up on this habit, it will be on her to correct it. This gagging can result if I use full-fat milk in something, butter on garlic bread, or anything she deems to be too caloric. She will buy salt-free and low-fat ingredients at the store instead of what I ask her to get, which create tasteless meals. So I usually do the shopping myself. Nobody is overweight, nobody has a medical condition, she buys it just because it's healthier. The other night, I made chicken Alfredo. I make it with heavy cream. This was with a side of sautéed broccoli and homemade garlic bread. As we sat down to eat it, my wife made one of her gagging movements and said, cream, bread, and pasta. So heavy, so fatty. This is death. My daughter gagged as well, said, yucky, and pushed her plate away. I stared daggers at my wife and told her, great, now tell her you were joking. She shook her head, she doesn't like it. She knows that it's terrible for her. Maybe this is the sign we need to start cooking healthier. My wife made her chicken nuggets, which she ate happily. I pointed out that these are not healthy. My wife said that she likes what she likes. Now, every time I make something, my daughter gags and pushes it away. It doesn't matter if it's a hot dog or a bowl of cereal. If I put it together, she gags, starts laughing and refuses to eat until mom makes her something else. I tried talking to her, explaining that it's not nice to not even try the food, and it's very mean to the person making the food. She keeps saying, okay, and then does the same thing the next time I make her food. This morning, I made egg sandwiches for everyone, one of my daughter's favorites. She gagged, pushed it away, and refused to eat it. I snapped and sent her to her room without breakfast. She started crying. My wife told me that I wasn't being fair. I told my wife that this behavior is not acceptable and if she's not going to address it, I will be punishing our daughter every time she does it. She told me that's not fair because she shouldn't be forced to eat what she doesn't like. I told my wife that since she created this behavior, moving forward she will be in charge of cooking all meals, because I am done being disrespected by her and I am not going to tolerate it from our daughter. My wife says that I'm overreacting and that I need to stop putting so much stock into how a child likes my cooking. The thing is, our daughter loved my cooking until she thought it would be funny to start imitating my wife and get something else. I want the behavior to stop, but I don't have it in me not to lose my cool over the situation. My wife is refusing to correct the behavior she created, and as much as I hate it, I know it's wrong to punish my daughter when she's just doing what a terrible role model taught her to do. How do I address this in an appropriate way? TLDR: wife taught daughter to make over-exaggerated gagging sounds and reject the meals I cook. How do I redirect the behavior in the proper way and address this with my wife? I think you need to be less concerned with the fact that your daughter's reaction to your food is hurtful to you and way more concerned with the fact that your wife very clearly has an unhealthy relationship with food and is teaching your daughter that same way of thinking. If you do not get therapy involved, your daughter is going to be counting calories and restricting herself to a dangerously low daily total by the time she's a teenager. Your wife is an asshole. Your wife does not respect you at all, and her food concerns are hypocritical and baseless. She's acting like a child. This isn't about food, it's about controlling you and putting you down, which now your daughter is doing. You majorly need therapy with this woman if you plan to stay married. OMG, I would be devastated if anyone reacted to my cooking so meanly and immaturely. Let alone teaching your kid that this is okay. Your wife is hurtling your daughter toward an eating disorder. And also being needlessly cruel to you. You need to stop including your wife in meals, full stop. She has made her bed when it comes to your labor. You need to explain, in age-appropriate terms, not just politeness to your kid but also how all foods are good. Your daughter is snowballing towards an eating disorder, thanks to her mom. To me, the way she treats your cooking would be grounds for divorce. As well as the way she is setting your child up for a lifetime of eating food issues. I'll be honest with you, this is divorce territory. Not because your wife is insulting your cooking but because she is sowing the seeds of an eating disorder in your daughter that she will struggle with until the day she dies. Am I, F30, required to make my husband, M37, feel better? My F30 husband M37 woke up upset this morning. He says he's feeling bummed, upset. But he doesn't know why. Just feeling down, which is fine, but he's walking around visibly upset. Slamming doors, stomping, etc. When I speak to him, he doesn't really want to talk. So at this point, I feel I've done my part in being a partner. He doesn't want to talk, let him be in his feelings, right? Well, I go about my business for the day. We have 2 kids, one I homeschool, so I did that. Painted with my youngest, fed meals, watched a movie with the oldest, etc. All the while, he is still upset. All the way past dinner. Little things triggering him a little more. I do try to ask what's wrong, if I did something. His response would be, no, or, I'm fine, and walk away. Just earlier, around 9 p.m., he's confessing that he's feeling low and that I'm making him feel like I don't care because he could use a hug or some sort of something to make him feel better. My defense is he should be responsible at some point to communicate exactly what it is he's needing from me because I don't know what he wants until then. He says he shouldn't have to ask for something like a hug. I should just see he's feeling bad and want to make him feel better. Honestly though, it wasn't like he was walking around sad. He seemed angry or irritated. I communicated how I didn't want to console someone acting like that. Too long did not read. Husband was in a down mood and expected me to know to make him feel better. But shouldn't he be responsible for his own feelings and communicate what he's needing in that moment? I say this as someone with a literal mood disorder. He needs to open his mouth and communicate. If he doesn't tell you what would help, how are you supposed to know? Did I get this right? The entire day he took care of absolutely nothing but barely himself, brought the mood down noticeably for you but worse for his kids, and at the end of the day, he is angry at you for not doing more for him? Cold sweat smile. He is an adult. WTF. I'm a dude, 38. Who sometimes struggles with expressing my emotions, but I can still find a way to communicate it in basic terms to my partner if she senses that something is off. Work was stressful. I didn't sleep very well. I feel depressed. I'm stressed about money. This shit isn't complicated. Your husband expecting you to play detective and solve the mystery of what is making him sad today is the only reason it's complicated. He's the problem, not you, and no, you're not required to make him feel better. He's damn near 40. He can get his ass in therapy if it's that bad, or just use basic communication skills that he should know by now. It's fine if he's in a bad mood, but if he is avoiding talking about it and doing things that suggest he's agitated, like slamming doors, that doesn't exactly scream, I need a hug. It's instead saying, leave me alone, and you did that. You worked with what he gave you. Unless his behavior was to draw attention to how upset he is, then he need to work on that because there is a 30 in front of that 7. Are you sure you mean husband? Are you sure it wasn't actually one of your small children acting like that? I got the ick and I don't even know the dude. Cold sweat smile. Adults should be capable of handling their emotions. I can understand wanting comfort from your partner, but communication is key. My 27M in-laws informed my wife, 24F, of their separation on our wedding day. 2 weeks ago I married the love of my life, but unfortunately her parents, my in-laws, ruined the day for us. For some reason her mother thought it would be a great idea to bring it up while my wife was having her hair and makeup done. I found out about all of this from my wife's maid of honor. On top of that, word got out to all the guests as well. Our wedding was a whole mess, because everyone was trying to act happy for us knowing what had just happened. I noticed my wife's eyes being swollen instantly when I saw her walking down the aisle. I could tell that she had been crying beforehand. We ended up skipping the dance. Wedding night ended up at a fast food restaurant with our friends. Honeymoon was fun, but I could tell she was not feeling it 100%. Anyways, my mother-in-law and father-in-law are trying to apologize to us for this whole thing. My wife said she never wants to see them again. I'm more on the opinion of their parents. Like, we can't just X them out of our life. Is it worth trying to repair the relationship, or do I just stay out of it? Yeah, so it's been a rough first few weeks in our marriage. Stay out of it. You don't want to be blamed if things get worse. They are her parents, and what her mother did to her on her wedding day was a most selfish thing a mother could do to her daughter on her wedding day. Watch out for your mill. She likes to stir up trouble, and apparently she likes upsetting your wife when your wife should be having a good time. Has this kind of behavior by her mother happened before? If so, your wife is right in cutting contact with her self-serving mother. My wife said she never wants to see them again. I'm more on the option of their parents. Like, we can't just X them out of our life. You absolutely can just X them out of your life. Her mother knew what she was doing. No sane mother would tell their child that before she is due to walk down the aisle. If your wife wants to never see them again, then that's what's going to happen. They are her parents at the end of the day, and it is ultimately her choice whether she wants them in your lives or not. Let her be angry. She's angry for a very good reason. She might feel differently about cutting them off once she's cooled off a bit, but just give her time. And don't tell her that she will change her mind. She doesn't need advice like that right now. She will change her mind if she does, and I'm sure she will let you know. But her anger is real. And she's going to be very angry about this for a while. Your in-laws are effing assholes. Like, you could at least wait till the next day and tell her. Why ruin her special day? Anyway, I understand that you want her to make peace with her parents, but stay out of it and support her wife's decision. Mom made a big mistake. She has to live with that. Your wife needs your support right now, so just do that. Yes, that sucks she did that. Yes, it was very selfish. Just agree to whatever your wife says. Don't try to play devil's advocate with maybe you should just talk to her. Or maybe she was just so sad herself. It will all be okay, and if your wife forgives them, guessing she will, support that. Don't get caught up in the drama of it all. Just support what your wife needs in the here and now and day to day. Stay out of it. They knew exactly what they were doing. Me 25F messed up and think my relationship 25M will end today. How can I save this relationship? I, F25, feel I have been really insecure lately. My boyfriend, M25, recently started a new job working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sex, physical touch, and time together has stopped. This past week, I have been feeling incredibly insecure, anxious, and depressed. I mentioned this to my partner and he gave me a hug and we carried on. Thursday morning he was getting his wisdom teeth out, and I, in a moment of weakness, bad timing I know, asked him if he was still physically attracted to me. I disclaimed that I was not trying to attack him, I just needed reassurance for myself. Friday night, he came home from work and was silent to me. He said we needed to talk and that his blood has been boiling about my comments since he came out of the sleepy medicine. He said I need my hand held in this relationship, and that's not him. This was in no way my intention of showing my insecurities. This morning, he didn't say bye before he went to work. While it may not seem like a big deal, before, no matter how mad he is at me, he has always come in to say bye to me. I'm pretty sure this means I'm going to be broken up with. Do I text him now and mention it or wait for him to come home? How can I save this relationship? I'm in bed heartbroken over this. I can't lose him. Thank you in advance. You realize that working 12-hour days, 7 days a week is an exhausting schedule, right? That's 84 hours per week and 46 hours more than the standard full-time working week. I'm not sure how sustainable his job is long-term. But if I was working those hours, I wouldn't have much left in the tank for anything. And I'd probably get annoyed that my partner with more spare time and more hours available for resting is expecting me to make her feel better when I'm A, freaking tired, and B, about to go in for oral surgery. I guess you have to ask yourself whether or not you can handle feeling neglected, because I'm not sure how he's going to make much time for the relationship going forward, or for as long as he works these hours. I can't lose him. This is the problem right here. You need him more than you love him. No one likes that. You should be with someone because you love them, not because you can't cope without them. Remember, love is an action word. Show your love, not your codependency. Get a therapist. You'll be okay. I don't see what texting will achieve. Talk to him when he comes home. Tell him you realize you made a mistake, that you see where he's coming from, and you'll try to change for the better. Reassurance once in a while is fine and can actually be cute, endearing. But constantly nagging, especially when he's in pain from a surgery? That's not cool, and sounds like you do understand that. So kudos to you for that. But now you'll have to change. But it's better to have these conversations in person. Why does he have to work 12 hours short all days of the week? I feel like I'm going crazy reading these comments. You aren't bothering him every day about this. You had a single moment of weakness, and everybody is acting like you stabbed your BF. Personally, I think he is overreacting and he should respect your feelings more. Both my girlfriend and I work a lot. I am a PhD student and she is in medical school. But we care enough about each other's feelings that we would never say our blood is boiling, because the other one had a single moment of weakness and revealed an insecurity. I struggle with similar insecurities. What helps me is to focus on making the relationship better, being the best me for him. When I get insecure, instead of letting myself obsess over those thoughts, I put that energy into positive things, for me, for him, for us. It helps redirect my brain, and it also makes me happier, which makes him happier, which works great for everybody. It's a process. I'm a couple decades older than you and still working on it.